I was going to go get something. When I went to go get it, I got robbed at gunpoint.
You know, I've been doing this for a little bit of time, right? And you're not doing too good at covering that up. Because guess what I'm going to do? Guess.
What?
And guess what? I got big. So, young lady, I need you to be honest with me, okay? All right? Because I know of another incident that took place after this that you were involved with, okay? So we can either go where you deny it all, or you can be honest and tell me your side of the story.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know at all?
No.
Okay. Even though I have you on video?
No.
No? Were you ever at the Maverick gas station?
No, sir.
Off of Comanche?
No, sir.
No? Not at all?
Mm-mm.
Giving you an opportunity here. I wanted to talk to you about that. Okay, because I know what happens, and I know you didn't shoot. So this is an opportunity for you to be clean and tell me what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Yes, you do. I wouldn't just be making this stuff up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you meet up with anybody else at that Maverick?
I was never at that Maverick.
Do you have a boyfriend named Esteban?
No.
Can I talk to Esteban?
Talk to everybody.
Except for Diamond.
Except for that.
No?
I don't know them.
No? You're going to deny it. Because it's going to look a lot worse later when I get information that you were there, confirming that you were there.
I don't know.
I already know you were there on video. Okay. Now it's going to look worse when I get other information that shows you there. Even though I don't have your phone, okay? I know you're giving me the wrong phone number. I already know that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
How old are you, Diamond?
I'm 19.
This is the reconstructed account of the tragic 2022 Albuquerque gas station shooting. The following narrative is built from police interrogation tapes, CCTV analysis, and court records. This is Diamond Salazar. At 19 years old, she had already navigated a world of aggravated assaults and conspiracy charges.
More than 2 years ago, a group of teens opened fire on an SUV at a gas station, killing an Albuquerque mother right in front of her child.
But she always walked away. To her, the law was a suggestion, and street justice was the requirement. On the night of March 25th, 2022, that philosophy would collide with the life of an innocent woman in the most violent way imaginable. Beside her in this investigation are Esteban Lucero, a 15-year-old boy trying desperately to play the role of a hardened hitman, and Caprice Cecilia, 17 years old and 4 months pregnant, driving the getaway vehicle while carrying a new life inside her. By the time the sun rose the next morning, a 21-year-old mother, Kayla Montaño, would be dead, shot while sitting in her car with her fiancé and her 7-year-old child. All because these teenagers thought they had spotted the car that robbed Diamond 2 weeks prior. They were wrong. It wasn't the car. It wasn't the people. It was just a family getting gas. This mistake is about to cost these teenagers the next 2 decades of their lives. The security camera at the Maverick on Comanche Road captures the white Chevy Malibu pulling into frame at 8:21 p.m. The footage is grainy but clear enough to show the distinctive scuff on the front bumper, a mark Caprice would later tell detectives happened when she hit a curb. The footage shows the Malibu hovering near the pumps, the investigative report states. It doesn't pull up to get gas. It's hunting. Inside the car, the tension is a physical weight. According to later testimony, Diamond is agitated. She sees a dark SUV. She thinks she recognizes the silhouette. She points. Esteban, wearing a bright yellow hoodie, a choice that would make him nearly impossible to miss on camera, prepares himself. You can see the passenger door open. Frame by frame, you see the figure in the yellow hoodie emerge. There is no hesitation. There is no conversation. There is only the flash of muzzle fire. Multiple angles recorded the horror. You see Kayla's car door riddled with holes. You see the white Malibu screech away, leaving behind a shattered family and a child who will never unsee that night. But as the detectives begin their work, they find something Diamond and Estevan never expected. They didn't just leave behind a body. They left a trail of digital breadcrumbs and a driver who is starting to realize that not snitching means her baby will be born in a prison ward.
They told me to drive off, and once I left the stoplight, they went into a car, and I didn't even see the car. They just jumped out of the back seat and took her purse and my phone and left into a car.
They took...
As the interrogation continues, the Bonnie and Clyde fantasy starts to crumble. One of them is about to crack, and the truth they reveal is more disturbing than the police ever imagined. If you were the detective in this room, knowing a 7-year-old witnessed this, would you offer the pregnant driver a deal to catch the shooter? Or should they all face the same sentence? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to see the moment the tough act completely falls apart. In the cold, sterile environment of an Albuquerque interrogation room, the code of the streets is meeting the crushing weight of a first-degree murder investigation. While Diamond Salazar remains stony-faced, leaning on her history of dodging charges, the detectives are playing a high-stakes game of psychological chess. They aren't just looking for a confession. They are looking for the why. Why would 3 teenagers execute a young mother at a gas station? The answer lies in a $650 gun deal gone wrong and a desperate need for retaliation. Frame by frame, the CCTV from the Maverick doesn't just show a shooting. It shows a conversation. You see the white Malibu with the scuffed bumper. You see the girl in the passenger seat, Diamond, pointing. Then you see the boy in the yellow hoodie. That's Estevan Lucero. He's 15. He should be worrying about midterms. Instead, he's gripping a semi-automatic. But the detectives have more than just grainy video. They have the digital ghost. Self-Rensselaer Tower triangulation places the device associated with Estevan Lucero at the Maverick gas station on Comanche Road at precisely 8:21 p.m. Multiple outgoing telegram messages were intercepted in the hour leading up to the incident. The air in the room is thick. Caprice Cecilia is 17. She is 4 months pregnant.
Parent
Yeah.
to have children? And I think that's, have you given your child, is it a boy or girl? You don't know yet.
I haven't found out yet.
Okay. I hear the situation that you were talking about. Now, the reason we were at your house this morning
Yes, sir.
is...
I got a question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I guess to tell us what you think or why we're at your house.
I thought an incident had happened.
This is the complexity. Diamond wasn't just a passenger. She was the navigator. She was the one who felt the sting of the pistol whipping from the March robbery. She wanted her $650 back, or she wanted blood. What's haunting is the mistake. Kayla Montaño's car was a dark SUV. The robbers from the Columbus Park incident also drove a dark SUV. Diamond saw a shape in the dark, a car at a pump, and she made a fatal assumption. She signed Kayla's death warrant because of a feeling.
So you were with your girlfriend, you said?
Yeah, that was with my girlfriend.
Okay. Where are you guys at?
Her house is like Comanche area, I'm pretty sure.
Comanche area? Okay. What's your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Diamond.
Diamond? Okay. Why was that difficult for you to say that?
Because I don't want to give y'all my girlfriend name.
I got you. All right. We'll just keep it a Diamond for now. Is that cool? Okay. So you were at Diamond's house off of Comanche? You know more or less where off of Comanche?
No, I don't.
Okay.
She picked me up, and then her mom and her picked me up, and then I went to her house.
Okay. How long have you been going out with Diamond?
Like 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks?
The pressure is mounting. The detectives are about to reveal the most devastating piece of evidence yet: the pink sweats. In the robbery, Diamond reported she told police she hid her money in her pink sweatpants. When police searched the white Malibu, they didn't just find the pants. They found something else tucked inside them. Something that links the gun from the March robbery directly to the shell casings found next to Kayla Montaño's body. But just as Estevan starts to sweat, a new witness emerges. Someone who was at the Maverick that night. Someone who saw Estevan's face clearly before the shots rang out. And this witness isn't just a bystander. They're someone the teenagers know. In many states, a driver can be charged with murder, even if they didn't pull the trigger. Do you think Caprice, being pregnant and 17, deserves a lighter sentence than the shooter? Or is the driver just as guilty? The Bonnie and Clyde pact is about to be shattered by a single, terrifying realization. The police aren't guessing. They have the gun. Stick around as we see the moment the tough exterior finally breaks. This is the point of no return. In any investigation, there is a moment where the suspects realize they aren't just persons of interest. They are ghosts walking. For Diamond Salazar and Estevan Lucero, that moment arrives not with a shout, but with a silent video file. The detectives have stopped asking questions. They've turned the monitor around. Everyone thinks about the gas station cameras. They look at the pumps, they look at the front door, but they forget about the high-resolution LPR, the license plate recognition cameras, and the surrounding businesses. We didn't just have grainy footage of a white car. We had the 4K bird's-eye view from a neighboring business. Diamond is leaning back, her arms crossed, still playing the "I don't know what you're talking about" card.
Your mom, I don't want to call her aunt because I know you kind of call her mom, had described some type of incident that had taken place.
The monitor flickers to life. It's 8:24 p.m., 3 minutes after the shots were fired. The white Malibu is seen pulling into a dark corner of a parking lot less than a mile away. Look at the passenger door. That's you, Diamond. You're wearing the exact same pink sweats you told us about in the March robbery. And look at Estevan. He's taking off that yellow hoodie. He's panicked. But you're calm. You're reaching into the back seat. You're checking the weapon. Her jaw tightens. Her eyes dart to the screen. For the first time, she stops picking at her nails. And here's the transformation, Diamond. We didn't just find the car. We found the why. We talked to your friends on Telegram. We have the messages from 7:45 p.m. that night.
But to say that you had a fight response because you were trying to protect Diamond is not the entire picture of this story. And I know because I heard the testimony of the detective, I heard the testimony of a lot of different witnesses.
That mistake is costing her everything. Because the car Diamond saw wasn't the robbers. It was Kayla Montaño. While Diamond stares at the screen, the real break is happening in room 3. Caprice Cecilia has reached her breaking point.
At my neighborhood or anything, or I thought like my auntie did let you guys know about what happened about like the robbing and everything.
That she had called us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, and the reason why we were at your house was the little white car that you were talking about. And you said about 2 weeks ago. So I do have an incident with your white car at a gas station involved. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I have video of your white car. The reason I'm able to tell it's your white car is because you have distinctive marks on your car in the front. It has like Or whatever happened in the front there, like it has like a...
With Caprice's statement, the investigation transforms from a whodunit to a how many years. Because Caprice just triggered the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder statutes. In New Mexico, if you help plan it, you're just as guilty as the one who pulled the trigger. The detectives go back into Estevan's room. They don't play the video. They just play the audio of Caprice sobbing.
Right? Because that's what I get paid to do. That's what I love to do. Okay? I'm going to investigate, and I'm going to talk to a lot of different people. I've already been talking to a lot of people. And guess what? I got video of everything that took place. Okay? So when we stop vehicles and there's no coincidence that on a traffic accident, usually you would just go home with your mom or with somebody that you know. Why would you guys get transported here to the main station to talk to a detective? Right? This is a serious crime, shooting. Okay? So, with understanding a little bit more that it's a shooting and it's a serious crime.
The pact is dead. The evidence is irrefutable. But as the teens begin to realize the magnitude of their mistake, the public reaction begins to swell. Kayla Montaño wasn't just a victim. She was a beloved member of the community, and the karma that is about to hit these three is going to be swift, legal, and permanent. But wait, there's one more piece of evidence. A trophy Diamond took from the scene. A piece of Kayla's life the police found hidden in a vent at Diamond's house. Do you think a 15-year-old should be tried as an adult when they are manipulated by an older partner? Or is a life taken, regardless of age? The Bonnie and Clyde fantasy has officially disintegrated. In the wake of Caprice's confession and the recovery of the telegram messages, the legal machinery of the state of New Mexico begins to grind. This isn't just a local story anymore. It's a national headline. A young mother, Kayla Montaño, executed in front of her child over a case of mistaken identity. The consequences aren't just coming, they are cascading, destroying everything in their path. Expert witness statement. Dr. Eris Thorne, forensic psychologist. The group dynamic here is classic folie à plusieurs. Diamond Salazar, at 19, provided the motive and the pressure. Estevan Lucero, at 15, provided the action to secure his status and the relationship. It was a perfect storm of adolescent impulsivity and adult manipulation, resulting in a cold-blooded execution. The camera captures the trio. They are no longer in their street clothes. They are in orange jumpsuits, their wrists and ankles shackled. Diamond looks smaller, her bravado replaced by a 1,000-yard stare. Estevan looks like a child sitting in an adult's chair, his feet barely touching the floor. Prosecutor. The state is seeking to try Estevan Lucero as an adult. When you pull a trigger multiple times into a vehicle containing a 7-year-old child, you have forfeited the leniency of the juvenile system. This was not a mistake of youth. It was a choice of malice. But the real social destruction happens outside the courtroom. The community at the Maverick gas station holds a vigil. Kayla's fiancé, the man who sat in the driver's seat while his partner was killed beside him, stands before a bank of microphones. They didn't just kill Kayla. They killed the mother of my child. They killed our future. All because of a purse? All because they thought we were someone else? There is no sorry that fixes this. As the DA builds the case, they find the smoking gun, literally. Body camera footage from the search of Diamond's residence shows the moment of truth. We moved a vent cover in the hallway. Tucked inside wasn't just the 9mm used in the shooting. It was a small, laminated photo of a baby. It was Kayla's photo, one that had been in her wallet. Diamond didn't just help kill her. She kept a piece of the life she destroyed. We found the photo, Diamond. You kept it as a trophy? Or were you looking at it, realizing you killed the wrong person? A tear finally tracks through her makeup, but it's too late. Caprice is going home today, Diamond. She's going home because she told the truth. She's going to have her baby. You're going to be a middle-aged woman by the time you see a sunset without bars in front of it. Go's terribly wrong moment is now a legal reality. The charges are filed. Estevan Lucero, first-degree murder, shooting at a motor vehicle, tampering with evidence. Diamond Salazar, second-degree murder, pursuant to a plea. Aggravated assault, conspiracy. The financial devastation hits next. Kayla's family files a multi-million-dollar wrongful death lawsuit. Even if they never see a dime of it, the judgment will follow Diamond and Estevan for the rest of their lives, ensuring they never own a home, a car, or a bank account that isn't subject to seizure. But there is one final twist in the sentencing. As the judge prepares to read the verdict, a letter is presented to the court. A letter from Kayla's 7-year-old son. The exact number of years they will serve, the fate of the pregnant driver, and the haunting final words of a child who watched his world end at a gas pump. Caprice Cecilia walked free in exchange for her testimony. Do you think this is a fair trade for justice? Or should the driver always go down with the shooters? This is the moment of accountability, the instant karma for a night of fueled rage and mistaken identity. The cameras are rolling in a packed Albuquerque courtroom. The air is heavy with the scent of floor wax and the stifled sobs of two families. One mourning a mother, and the other watching their children be erased from society. The Bonnie and Clyde fantasy has met the cold, hard gavel of the law. This court has seen many tragedies, but the execution of Kayla Montaño stands apart for its sheer, senseless cowardice. You hunted a ghost, and you killed a mother. A small chair is brought to the front. Kayla's 7-year-old son, now 9, stands on his tiptoes to reach the microphone. The courtroom falls into a deafening silence. I remember the loud noises. I remember my mommy didn't wake up. You took her away from my birthday. You took her away from everything. I hope you have to stay in your room forever. The defense tried to argue for leniency. They spoke of Estevan's age, just 15 at the time, and Diamond's traumatic history of being robbed. But the prosecution had the telegram messages. They had the trophy photo. They had the truth. Estevan Lucero, you chose to be the hand of death that night. You are sentenced to 22 years in the New Mexico Department of Corrections. Pursuant to state law, you must serve 85% of this sentence before you are even eligible for a hearing. You will be nearly 40 years old before you breathe free air. He lowers his head. He looks like a child who finally understands the stove is hot. Diamond Salazar, you were the architect of this misery. You pushed a child to pull a trigger because your ego was bruised over $600. You are sentenced to 19 years in prison. You too will serve 85%. You traded your youth for a grudge. And then there is Caprice Cecilia. In a move that divided the community, the charges against Caprice were dismissed. She was the driver. She was the one who hit the curb. But she was also the one who broke the cycle. Her testimony was the key that locked the cells of Salazar and Lucero. Caprice walks out of the side door of the courthouse, shielding her face from the cameras. She is holding a car seat. Her baby was born while the others awaited trial. She is free, but she carries a life sentence of her own. The knowledge that she drove the car that carried a murderer to a gas pump. The financial devastation is total. A $10 million wrongful death judgment is entered against Salazar and Lucero. Every cent they ever earn in a prison workshop, and every cent they might earn if they are ever released, is legally diverted to Kayla's son's trust fund. They will never own anything but their names and their crimes. The Maverick gas station on Comanche Road looks exactly the same today as it did on March 25, 2022. People still stop for gas, they still buy snacks. But if you look closely at the concrete near Pump 4, there are small, faded marks. Scars from a night where 3 teenagers thought they were fixing a problem. Instead, they created a void that can never be filled. 1 mother in the ground, 2 kids in a cage, and 1 little boy who has to grow up knowing that the world can change forever in the 4 seconds it takes to pull a trigger. Accountability is a heavy burden, but it's the only thing that keeps the scale balanced. This story started with a bad feeling and ended with a life sentence. If you believe Kayla Montaño's family finally received the justice they deserved, hit the like button and share this story to remind others that actions have permanent consequences. Do you think the 85% rule is enough for a crime this cold? Or should first-degree murder always mean life without parole? Let's discuss in the comments below. Stay safe and stay vigilant.